That was the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Hey, but if you cannot satisfy as the man, figure it out. They got all types of stuff.
Please don't say nothing that she just said.
No, it's that CTE you got acting up. Yeah, let's talk.
They never ran out of soap. You want some hand sanitizer, but you're not washing your behind.
That's for sale.
Down, shaking together, shall men give unto your
You ain't pressing.
Just think to yourself, hey, might not even last. Maybe that'll make you feel better right now.
Who talking?
Got all types of stuff.
And that's my
Figure
final word.
What is the laughing for? What is the laughing? I okay. I see what we're doing. I see what we're doing now. Oh, so I had no idea. I had no idea.
Hey y'all, please forgive us. We having a moment right now. This is an inside joke.
I had no idea.
This is an inside joke. This is an inside joke, and you guys will never understand why we laughing. No, this will remain inside. This will remain inside. This will not go outside.
Listen, I think we need to really seriously be talking about a Patreon, because there are just things that we need to be able to share with you guys. And, we don't want to be censored. We don't want to keep you guys out of the loop. Hi, Chanel.
Yeah,
how are you?
Hey, Chanel. Hey, Liz. How y'all doing? Everybody, come on in.
Liz,
share it.
Chanel in here. Hey, Sister Pat. Hello. Brother Elkins. He said, what time the service start? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we came a little tardy. We still waiting on one, but I have no idea how long it's been since all of us have gotten on here at the same time. Yeah. It's like I haven't seen y'all in forever. Like, where y'all been, Doc? Like, yep.
Yo, what's up? Who's that person at the bottom left? Who is that?
We don't know. Like,
who is that? She all dressed up and stuff, and got her dreads all braided up.
Back. Right.
Yeah.
Listen, we are happy to be here. Did you see the text that I so remarkably put in the chat just 30 seconds ago, Tim?
Oh, let me see.
I just wanted you to look at it. I was out minding my very own Black business, and I came across. My husband was taking me to get froyo, and I came across a flavor that I'd never seen before, and it was just powerful. The name of the flavor,
Alfonso Mango
Tart. You gonna just say
that word? Hey, speaking of Alfonso and mangoes and tart, look at the picture I just sent in the text.
Oh, you know what? Yes, hey, yo. This is not good. This is not good.
When I tell you we on the same prophetic wavelength right now, we on a prophetic wavelength. You didn't even know what I said, and God had you put this in here. Okay,
this is not good, bro.
This is powerful.
Oh, this is powerful.
So go ahead and load it up and show. Go ahead, bro. Load everything else up. Go ahead. Show the people. They
you want to start with something funny, or you want to start with something inappropriate? Either way, I think we can have a great time.
I don't think we're gonna show this one.
So there's a reason why Instagram allows you to have close friends. Okay. There's a reason why I'm allowed to have close friends. And if you are just going to disrespect the sanctity of being a close friend, Tim.
Don't do that, because when I posted something in Close Friends, well, Tim was the one that too, and y'all started talking about it. I said something about I love men, but y'all don't have no common sense. Y'all brought the conversation to here.
I felt like it was a personal attack. I felt like it was a personal attack. And I thought,
okay, but this is different. This is just funny.
And we put up the flavor of the month. All I'm saying is it's July. It's the 1st of July. We have a flavor of the month that we'd like to highlight. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple photos to go with it. That's all I'm saying.
You said a flavor of the month.
She gonna be on this all month.
Mango tart. Come on, somebody.
This is ridiculous.
We can't just put it up.
So for everyone that is eagerly nosy to know what's going on here, Erica sent a text to the group chat right before the show started of a flavor that she saw at a froyo. Okay. She saw this at a froyo, and essentially, I know you lost, Brother Elkins. I know. I'm filling you in right now.
We're gonna get you right there,
I'm filling you in right now. Erica sent this to the group, and y'all, the flavor itself isn't really that funny, but if y'all know Erica has a mind that is not fit for children, and
she got so many. I don't know how.
I'm sorry.
And got so many. I thought she would have figured it out by now.
Erica's mind.
I'm sorry. My mind is made for children. My mind makes children.
Exactly. Obviously, Junior over there.
Erica.
Powerful way. Amen.
Erica sent this picture, and there were some words that were also sent with the picture that will not be said right now.
Listen.
The words is what we are laughing at. This is ridiculous.
You take this how you want to take it, okay? I was there.
I'm taking it how you took it.
I wanted cake batter, and I was walking, and I saw Alfonso mango tart. And my sentiment simply was, while I have an appetite for cake batter, and you finish the rest. That can be anything. Somebody's at home desiring Alfonso mango tart.
My God.
And there's nothing wrong with it. No more than I wanted cake batter. It's a flavor of the month. And I just
Fonz, I would have did you like that. I would have did you like that. Actually, like, and then Tim, he did, like, he took the cake too, because he snapshot at that, man. Like, you got to.
I was minding my own business too. Walking through the aisles of the store and look at my phone and hold on, what is this? What's this brother got going here?
I didn't even see it till I didn't even see it till he showed me. So I didn't even
Brother
know. Zoe, you don't look bad, bro. You don't look bad.
We have a picture of Brother Zoe. We're not gonna show you right now because I guess it's for his close friends. Now, if y'all want to talk to him about why you're not included in there, go ahead and find him over at Zoe Scott. Not our business. But I'm just saying that we came across a picture of him that's some might say it's, I don't know. They may say this, they may use the same, adjectives that they would for the cake batter. I think cake batter is scrumptious.
I would just say,
I think it's
because his grandmother has stepped into the building.
Let's leave him alone. Love you guys. All right, let's just move on. I think that cake batter ice cream is scrumptious. Some people think that cheesecake ice cream is scrumptious. Some people think that chocolate red velvet. Others think that Alfonso mango tart is scrumptious.
That's what they had a taste for.
That's all we're saying. There is a flavor of ice cream entitled Alfonso mango tart. Do with that what you will. My name is Erica Webb, aka Grace Girl. I always do my best to find space for grace in the place. I'm happy to be here tonight with all of our co-hosts. This has not happened in a long time. You definitely want to tag someone in the room because when this happens, it's something like a full moon. It get crazy in here. Okay, so go ahead and get your peoples in here because we're gonna go there tonight. Very happy to be here.
Oh, I guess I'll go next. Hi, everyone. I am Faye. It is not only good to see you all again, it is nice for the entire fam to be here. And y'all know that when everybody is on one accord, it tends to be real, as Erica would say, powerful.
That's going to be powerful from on high tonight. Amen. Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Chips Ahoy, Checkerboy Floyd. What are the Almond Joy? What I
No, wait a minute.
Do it again.
Hey, y'all, listen.
Try it again.
I don't even do this for me no more. So how
it's okay.
We don't.
I do it for y'all. Maybe y'all should do it for me.
Right. Tim, get right.
Maybe y'all should do it for me. I don't even do it for me.
Don't come in here doing any old thing when you got everybody here happy to see us. They haven't seen us in a while. It is a holiday weekend. We are celebrating. Period.
What's up, y'all?
You got it.
What are we celebrating, Erica?
Well, period, capital letter, next sentence. And
I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get it together, Erica.
Okay, let's try.
You got it, Tim.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Chips Ahoy, Almond Joy, Checkerboy Floyd. Hope everybody's doing well. I know what you're thinking, and you're right. It is hot.
Oh my God.
There is a song that goes well with the weather.
Come on.
Hell is a hot place. Ain't no water there. And that song got a question. The question is, do you want to go to hell? That's the question. And I don't want to go to hell. All right. Now, if you know the song, you can. Don't respond in the comments, but you know.
Yeah, call and response. It's the call and response.
Y'all.
Type
in the response to the call. Do you want to go to hell?
Type in the response. This song. Type it in. I'd love to hear Daniel Lester sing this. That
was the first time I ever heard that song.
He does a fantastic rendition of the song. The song is the lyric is, "Do you want to go to hell?" And we want you to respond.
That's right, Pearl Pew. That's right.
Pearl?
That's exactly right.
Hey, y'all, comment.
Hey, it's the song. It's the song. But see, if she was being accurate, she would have put a hell and then put a comma and then said no. Hell, comma, no.
But that isn't the full song. The full lyric is, "Do you want to go to hell? Hell no. Do you want to go to heaven? Heaven, yes." That's how you say it.
That's what it says.
That's what it says. Just the song. We didn't write it.
We didn't write the song. That ain't my song now.
I ain't never heard it, but I think it sounds beautiful.
Oh, like the head go. Do you want to go to hell? Hell no. Do you want to go to hell? Hell yes. That's how I go.
You right there in D. Yeah, got you.
I need you.
Go ahead.
I can't sing that much longer because I don't want to have to deal with copyright issues. But that,
because that person's probably still alive or not. But
Wait a minute.
His hand went out. You better not have covered my baby.
I think he was trying to be on mute, and I'm like, she said, "No, you gonna hear me today."
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is here?
Pray for us, saints. Anyways, my name is Lee. 3 letters, 2 of them are the same. And Zoe, you should have told me to kick a song for you. I'm gonna play this in honor of Zoe, for y'all. And the song that y'all heard. Yeah, you can body roll. Yeah, go ahead, get all that. So you should have told me this. You should have told me to hit that. I would have hit it. He ain't going back and forth with y'all. All right. Let that man be great. Go ahead, Zoe.
I just want to say that I feel personally attacked and targeted.
Take it over. Let's go.
My name is Zoe, and we just gonna leave it there because I feel like enough has been said about me today. And you know what? Since we're in such a festive spirit,
I'm sorry, Pastor Elkins. Can we just? What was the name of the message?
What
was it to do? Wait.
What in blank do you want to do?
I think it was what nail do you want to do?
Yeah.
He put apostrophe in there to be politically correct. I understand what you was doing, brother.
Yeah. We appreciate that, Elder Banks. Elder Elkins.
Elder Banks, he was off the chain too.
He was off the chain. People was clickbaiting back then before there was a such thing as clickbait. All right.
That's right. That's a good point.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you're trying to take us somewhere, and
yes. Since we're in such a festive mood, and since Erica wants to put people on the spot, hey Erica,
I really don't.
Recently, Erica, about a week ago, there was a very I want to say polarizing decision made by the Supreme Court in Roe v. Wade, and a national response to said a national response to said decision by women all over the world was basically saying, you know what, since the Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade, we got to take matters into our own hands, and we need to protest to inspire a change. And I just want to know, Erica, how is that protest going? The strike that is going on right now across the country in response to Roe v. Wade, the strike that is to help get back to what has happened. You know, it's a nationwide sex strike because of
a pandemic, actually.
Roe v. Wade, and because of the Supreme Court, unintended pregnancy can't be risked anymore, and women across the nation are going on a sex strike. So, Erica, I'm just wondering how that's going for you, and if you have any inspiring words for your fellow matriarchs out there that are also taking part in said protest.
Can I just say before she does this
finna be good.
Alfonso is the biggest troll.
He is a trash.
This is finna be good.
Exactly what he is doing and how he just set my sister up, and that's what he gets for getting trolled.
You know,
this finna be good.
Hey, thank you for pointing that out. You know, my nickname for Zoe is Hefty. Zoe's a trash bag. He's the bag that is on Thanksgiving and all the juice is going to the bottom of it. And he tries to snatch the bag out and it accidentally catches the edge of the trash can and it breaks open and all of the juice is going on the way to the dumpster. That's Zoe. Okay. You know, how's it going? You know, the strike in the Webb house isn't going well. Okay. And I'd like to say to you that you asked me this, so you get what you get. Now, for those of you who have not tagged someone and got them in here, you also are responsible for what they are missing. Okay, I want to get to the line. Let's address the text. We're gonna go down.
Address the text. Work the text.
Work the text.
We're gonna work the text real quick. We're gonna go down. To the 9th line. We're going to go to the 9th line. Let's go to the 8B. Okay, it says sex with any man, including our husbands, unless we are trying to become pregnant. Hashtag sex strike. I read in your hearing the ignorance and the women around the world, around the nation who are protesting. I want to take a subject for tonight that says, what in hell do you want? And for my subject, for my subtopic, hell no. Okay. We are not. We're living in a day and time where people want to destroy that which God has made and that which God has created. And this idea of we want women to not have sex with their husbands because y'all mad. I got a question. I'm supposed to make my man crazy because y'all mad. I got to live over here But I'm gonna make him crazy because y'all mad. I'm against this strike. And you know, I understand, I see where they're going, but they really made me mad when they added subsection 9A, including our husbands. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but no, we are not observing the sex strike in the Webb house. Never have been on a strike, never will be on a strike. Amen. And even the Bible says, you know, except for a time of fasting and prayer, let us not withhold. Amen. And so I'm withholding nothing. I've joined the team of the psalmist that's saying withholding nothing. Amen. We have reckless abandon over here, and we're enjoying it every day. Did I answer your question, Zoe? All right. A protest
oh my God.
over the Supreme Court of the United States decision is rather odd, I would say. I understand. A domestic protest is what they wanted in the home, and we are against.
What's up, Delson?
Section. Hey, Delson. We are.
Hey, Delson, real quick. If your wife, who if everybody didn't know, Delson is married now. Didn't tell nobody, but Delson, if your wife came home talking about she was protesting.
I'm sorry. Is Delson newly married?
Relatively, yeah. Relatively.
It ain't been a year.
It's not been a year yet.
No. So the first question is, Delson, how is married life? And once you've answered that, then you can answer what the devilment that's going to come out of. Okay.
Yeah, like what if she came home talking about she was protesting the Supreme Court decision and you can't have none? So what would happen? Let me know in your
excuse me. While we're waiting on the comment section to become anointed, Lee is the lone married man on the panel. I would like to know, Brother Lee, if Sister Scott came home and said, "I feel inclined, all of womankind, and I have decided that until the Supreme Court changes their decision, I too would like to withhold my body from you." How would you respond, Pastor Scott?
Well, first of all, Brother Delson has answered emphatically. That wouldn't happen. That word "wouldn't" is 2 words.
You said that wouldn't happen.
Would not. You understand?
I would like to hearken to the bishop prophet Mike Tomlin on this eve.
Never say never, but never.
Oh my God.
I think that said it all, don't you?
No. I would like to know why you would be against her taking form in this kind of protest. Yeah. Why would you be against it, Lee?
And how would you respond?
On a scale of 1 to 3, how deep do you want this to be? Like, I don't like.
All right,
because I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it can be go off
the deep end.
All right, if you want the deep end, number one, if you in a marriage, your body ain't yours to withhold anyway. So like all this saying like you gonna withhold something from your husband.
Hey, Pearl said she said 5.
You say 5. All right, Pearl. Here we go.
No, I'm gonna.
Your body in a marriage is not yours. It's not yours. It becomes.
Whose is it? Is it the Lord's?
Okay, let's.
Is it the Supreme Court? Whose is it? You got to be clear.
No, you don't have.
My body is the Lord's. Whose is it?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, it's supposed to be the Lord's before the marriage, but after the marriage, now that person has claim to your member, has claim to your body. So if that person wants, to engage in sexual activities, and you're the only person that legally can do so in the covenant of marriage, well, then it's not yours to withhold it from your spouse. So, I mean, you can't. That's why in the Bible it says, and if you're fasting and praying, it has to be agreed upon. Like this is something that you got to come to the other person and say, "Hey, I would like to do this. Is this okay?"
You tell me why you would not be in agreement, because that's what it sounds like you're leaning to. Why won't
if she comes to me saying that I'm about to put my body on strike, then we got a situation because your body, like what are we talking about? Like
I'm putting our body on.
Yeah, like no, you gonna talk to me first, and then if we come to an agreement to say that's what we can do, then cool. But it better not be on no Supreme Court decision. I tell you that much. It better be on some, hey, I'm seeking this from the Lord, I'm fasting this from the Lord, I think this is what I'm supposed to do, and then let it be agreed upon with my spirituality, then rather than you just coming to me telling me what we gonna do. No, sir, that ain't gonna happen.
Facebook user, I do not like calling you that, but I love what you said when you said you both would have to be in agreement, and I want everybody to know it might be TMI, but switch those words around, it spells Tim, do whatever you want. What I'm saying is my husband and I, since day one, have had a 3-day max. No matter what. For God or man.
No, but see, that's an expectation that
going over 3 days, but no.
You go into it with that, like, hey, I'm expecting something every 3 days.
If I need to
unless we are apart for an extended period of time, I'm expecting something every so maybe 1 day, 2 days, 3 days.
All right. Well, no, it wasn't. No, I think I said that wrong. I didn't mean that I'm expecting every 3 days. All day, every day, day and night and day, let incense arise. What I'm saying is,
I agree. I get it.
I want to make sure it's important that you understand that no matter what, whether it's a church fast, a family fast, a single fast, a medical fast, 3 days. Doctor, you got something you want to do? You got 3 days, doc.
Hey, I think, just for the record, I think Facebook user is Liz Morrow.
It is.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened to your Facebook account, Liz, but yeah, right now.
I just want to make sure I know who that is. Okay, hi Liz. I love her. She's faithful, always here. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so
I got you, Delson.
So the married folk have spoken, amen, and you guys have spoken well. You have allowed the Lord to. Faye, I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Did you have?
No, Faye, we want to know what you got to say.
Yeah,
we want to hear what Faye got to say.
I'm trying to understand why I got to inflict pain on myself because I'm mad at it. That's not changing anything. And
Faye, if you don't say that one more time for the saints in the back, and I will shout, you over there with the keyboard, Tim. Oh God!
I am not going to inflict myself because I'm mad at the Supreme Court. I'm just not. Not that deep. God bless y'all if that's what you're doing. But as for me and my house, we shall practice multiplying, although we aren't trying to multiply just yet. Amen.
Yeah, amen.
We in the practice stages. We not in the game time. Not in game time.
Target practice.
I went to the game. I went to the Super Bowl. I done been everywhere we need to be, and now it's just fun. I'm at the point where we're doing it for fun now. Okay.
Okay, so we do it for fun. That's a Nelly.
We do it for enjoyment. Okay.
I appreciate the information from the married folk. I just want to talk to the women's side of the singleness that I'm in, because I'm not a married man.
Okay.
So I just want to talk to those women that felt. Could you drop that post again for me, Zoe?
We want everybody to see it.
We can have good reference of what we're talking about, right?
Bring up the text. Amen.
And I want to talk to the people that felt like this was revelatory. Duh.
Okay.
I mean, like that's what your pastor, your first lady, and these mothers been saying this stuff all these years. Close your freaking legs. That's what they've been saying to you. But now you go humping and bumping and having your hot girl summers, and here goes this post is
revelatory. We went on a rampage about hot girl summers last week. Let's not do it today.
This post is all of a sudden some angel of the Lord done come down and had to tell your butt to close your legs. Now I understand whatever you make your decisions, and you live with the consequences of the decisions that you made. But don't be okay. You've heard this before. You've been up in the church, and even if you haven't, you've heard right. You've heard people tell you these things before. But all of a sudden, we protesting for the sake of Roe v. Wade. You're gonna close your legs. You're gonna have a sex strike.
Oh no.
That really? Duh.
I don't like it.
Duh.
Coming in.
I don't like it, Tim. I don't like it, Tim.
Come on, these folk. You've been so now we doing this whole deconstruction of faith thing, right? And we gonna deconstruct all of these moral principles and values that you've been raised on that have worked. We find out Roe v. Wade ain't working, baby. It don't work. It don't work. But you want to forsake the stuff that do work, and now with this whole sex strike, now you feel like this is revelatory information, like you've never heard this before. The point of the strike
is to upset men in power to make them change the law. They're being
so then the women attached to these men in power should go on strike.
Roe v. Wade have to come into play for you to understand that's what you should be doing.
I wouldn't advise the women that are associated with the men that made it. I wouldn't advise them to do the sex strike because
and I'm not talking about married folk again. I'm just talking about
I'm just saying, like, whoever is associated with the people that made the call, I would not advise them to go on sex strike.
I mean, geez.
And let me ask you a question. You know,
hey, Faye, she did that same look. Hey, Faye, she did that same little cartwheel emoji you be using.
Things get real flexible when they get married. They get real flexible. Putting out chandeliers and all this other stuff.
There's an anointing. There's an anointing. There's an anointing. Amen. Listen, I'm good.
But
I have a question. Is there a place?
When I read that post, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have a question. I mean, I think I might be right, but I could be wrong. Isn't there some sort of historical precedent where women used abstaining from sex, as a group to bring about some sort of change? I feel like I've heard this before. I did not research anything, but I just felt like I've heard that before, where it was done either like in a town or in a country somewhere where people actually did this, like a sex strike was used for the purpose of getting men to cooperate in a certain way. Have you guys ever heard of this before?
Possibly, but I'm not that smart.
Yeah, but it might have happened, but the ridiculousness of it would probably cause me to forget it just as quick as I've learned it. So
well, it may have been effective.
I'm sure it was effective.
Could have been effective. I'm sure it was effective, but it probably not to the extent of what they wanted though. Again, like it's bad out here. Like when we talk about we've had episodes before about what the dating scene and dating pool is like out here, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Faye.
Okay, so in 2006, wives and girlfriends of gang members in Colombia, they did a sex strike in response to 480 deaths due to gang violence in the Coffee region. That ended up leading to the city's murder rate having the steepest decline in Colombia by 26.5%.
And in the year 1600, the Iroquois women refused to engage in sex as a way to stop unregulated warfare. The tactic worked. They gained veto power concerning all future wars and paved the way for future rebellions for women.
And in 2015, this movie Chirac came out, and they did it on that too.
Hey, yeah.
They did it on that. They did it on Chirac.
You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out now.
Just be throwing facts, I got some facts too. Shoot, I can be smart.
Listen, I'm telling you guys, this stuff has been happening. Kenyan women in 2009 enforced a sex ban until political infighting ceased. Within 1 week, there was stable government. And in the Philippines, the sex strike led to peace in a violence-plagued Mandano Island Village. This is serious. Women have been using their abilities to regulate behaviors for years and years. Is there a place where in America women can withhold to the point where they say, do whatever you want?
Yeah, but
you know what is crazy to me? Like it seems as though the ones that are successful with this strike is in response to violence.
It's in response to wars, violence, and an irregulation of behavior. Yes. Maybe the sex strike should have happened after the insurrection at the Capitol.
Well,
maybe it should have happened, because that's like a war against yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe those times when we just couldn't get everybody to calm down. Maybe we should have, used it for those things. But this, to me, is like starting a war to end the war, and I don't know what we're doing.
I don't know. What's the purpose?
I don't know. Like, I don't see the connection.
Yeah. It's like, so give me back my Roe v. Wade. Give me back is that what you're fighting for?
Yeah, they want
like, how about you do it for prison reform? How about that? How about you, for what about after George Floyd died? What about that? Maybe something.
And
I don't know.
It seems like the leaders
cancel these student loans. How about that? Do it.
It seems like the leaders in this radical movement concerning this issue are Caucasian women. And so it seems like when something is directly impacting just them, or a majority of them for some reason that is upsetting them, that's when they want to do this. But when something could impact other communities, that it's quietness. And so that's the thing that I do have an issue with, because like even when the original note from the Supreme Court came out before the ruling, but when the note came out, there was a lot of encouragement for Black women to get back to the front of the lines, because it seems like historically when there's a protest that is impacting everyone, when it's impacting Black people, whatever, Black women always are the first to put up our fists and to fight for everybody. But when it came to this, we kind of pulled back. And so white women were encouraging Black women to start back protesting. So it's funny to me that when it's something that impacts their household, then they want to fight. But when it's something like the insurrection or police reform or just even poverty, ain't no protest. So
I see. And that's an excellent point. That's a great point.
I know we was going to be on here again for this tonight, but
and I've heard a lot of conversation. I've seen this week a lot of people being indicted, a lot of people in the Black community being indicted on being apathetic, and Black Christians particularly being attacked. And, you guys aren't saying anything. You're quiet. You guys, and they're saying you're not celebrating. We feel like you should be celebrating. I'm like, well, they're like, and I've seen a lot of this. I'm saying, I don't think that Black people were encouraging people, like forcing people to celebrate. I didn't see any, like people making people celebrate Juneteenth, and nothing like that. When it comes to celebration, you celebrate whatever you want. But when it comes down to bringing reform and change and all that, that's something different. There are people that were in favor of this that felt like Black Christians should be celebrating. They should be doing something. Or if they're not celebrating, they should be speaking out against it. And I did notice
should be celebrating what? The Roe v. Wade
victory. Yes. Got a lot.
Why?
This had nothing to do.
Right, I know. A lot of Christians, Caucasian Christians, felt that this was a victory for the church, and that people of color should be celebrating that as Christians, that this was something that was a victory for the church. And so a lot of them have been indicted and kind of, as being apathetic, and, you don't care, you must not agree with us, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting, particularly have you seen those posts where they're like going off on Maverick City and going off on Black gospel groups and Christians and all that, and you guys aren't doing anything about this?
I haven't seen those posts, but I did see. I followed Jackie Hill Perry on Instagram, and she was saying that she saw it, and she was saying that sometimes us not speaking out doesn't mean we don't care. It means give yourself time to process so you can actually have something of substance to say versus just, social media activism.
I agree.
Age that we're in, you don't have the opportunity to if you have a public platform, you're not allowed to process. You're supposed to take a stance that where it's polarizing either way, but they want you to choose a side versus actually taking the time to process and think and stuff like that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. But again, this wasn't for us, so I wasn't here last week. But
You talked good though, Erica. You talked good. You're done good.
Have things to say to me. I have lots to say to them about these things. But we will move on from there. Just suffice it to say, we're enjoying it here, and we will continue that. We're enjoying the enjoyment, and I don't know. I'd like to see who's checking on the success of the strike. I'd like to see if is it being successful. Are people doing it?
I don't even know if it's a.
Are people not doing it?
I don't know how much is being practiced.
That's why it wasn't successful on Chirac, because they wasn't doing it.
Okay, it was successful in Chirac for a few days. Okay,
that's the only connectivity that I've ever seen.
But that one was fiction. It's happened in real life and been successful.
But I wasn't there.
Okay.
I don't know that people in today's society and culture have enough discipline for something like that.
And I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work in this society. Now, we talking about what happened with the Iroquois in 1600 and what happened with Kenya and what happened down in Colombia. I think that in this society, and I'm just going to be honest with you.
Well, there was one in 2009, one in 2015. There was one
in this society.
Yes, in America.
Where at?
The one
on a large scale. On a large scale.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well,
where in America did this happen?
Okay, let me see. Are you saying just that you don't think what could happen in America?
No, I don't think it can happen in America.
Society, I don't think. And then it's
we got
hard
an app
for us to be on one accord about anything. Like we couldn't even get on one accord about wearing masks in the middle of a pandemic. So it's real hard for unity to be.
There is an app for cheating spouses.
What?
Oh, y'all didn't. Oh, this is news.
No, that's news, bro.
Wow.
Never heard nothing like that.
It's an app. Like if what your wife ain't giving you none, it's an app saying people that are willing to for whatever time, money, what have you. It's app. It's an app.
Completely ridiculous.
So in this society, I do not believe it would be as effective, just because our society runs on this thing. Like it's economically, we run it's a $1 billion industry. So
I don't think
it's gonna be tough.
I don't think that it works in other countries because they need or use sex less than we do.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, you were saying because it's $1 billion. You were talking about just capital.
It's too accessible in this climate for it. Let's say on a large scale, all of the wives of the politicians in the Senate and the House of Representatives say we're not gonna sleep with our spouses until they pass something for gun control. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. What is the likelihood that all 400 and some odd spouses follow through with enough discipline to say we're not going to know our spouses biblically, and they have the discipline to like actually get something done? Or would they revert to another means saying, you know what, I'll just since she ain't cooking at home, I'm gonna get fast food.
Well, that's happening anyway. Let's be clear about that. That's already going.
I know it's happening, but I'm just saying on a large scale, I don't think it's going to be effective if that's what you want to do.
This is why. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim.
Well, this is why it wouldn't be effective, because that's not how the power structure works in America. the people that are in office or the people that are in power, quote unquote, are there to service people in representation of people. Outside of that, where you find power is money. And it don't, and them folk that got money don't care that you ain't getting none at the house. What they pushing is gonna go for it regardless. And they're real. You don't want to get with the program, get them out of office. We'll get another official in place. That's how this country works. It's not necessarily the traditional power structure that we like to see. You know, you want to get something going, get the people going. You know why? Because they control the bottom 90% of the wealth in this nation. You want to get something going, get the money of the top 10%. That's when you see adjustment.
I agree. I think that, I agree with you. And I think that what will cause, the problem with America doing it, I think it's just that we really don't know how to be inclusive. It's hard to find something that everybody would be on board with for it, really, any kind of a strike. I think that because even just stuff of lesser things, like, people saying, I'm not going to spend money on this day, or I'm not going to take public transportation, I'm not going to do these things. I think, God, what does this mean?
No, the latest comment is the truth.
They have a loophole, but a lot of them have a wife, a girlfriend, and a side piece. Yeah. So everybody involved would have to.
One don't cooperate, another one will.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say that it would not work in this society.
I think that I don't know. I think if we were talking about all of the older things, I'd say yeah, but I think the newer ones that have happened, I don't think those men didn't have access to other women, didn't have access to other, ways to get sex. Didn't have, I don't.
You talking about in Colombia and Kenya and in the Native American society back in the day, but again,
the one in 2015 and 2009, that isn't that old, and I think that those people have access to have sex with anybody they want. But we were saying like we don't have the discipline, we don't have this, we don't have that. But I think that they have access to do it other ways as well.
You talking about back then?
Yeah, in 2015.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about in 2009.
And 2009
in Colombia,
2015
in Kenya.
Colombia, yeah. I think that they had. I'm sure those men had access to get sex other ways as well.
Yeah. I agree with you, Faye. Let's go ahead and do it.
Wait, Faye, I don't see anything. Oh yeah. Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's go on.
All right, let's hit it. Let's go to since we're talking about men and women, withholding.
We only got 4 minutes now.
Man, please.
No.
Y'all look, we going over. 39 minutes last week. Y'all think
we going over? So we going over.
Time. Well, okay. Go ahead. Let's roll.
All right, let's hit the last top. Let's hit the Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, y'all gotta educate me because I don't follow nothing related to sports. I don't know what's going on.
All right, okay.
I got words.
So here's the deal with Deshaun Watson. So everybody, most people are aware of the charges, right?
No, not at all.
People aware? Okay. So in a nutshell, Deshaun Watson is being charged with civil lawsuits of sexual misconduct because he went to 26. Right now, it's 26 women that are charging him. 26 different massage.
25 lawsuits. One was dropped because she didn't want her name associated with the lawsuit. So 24 lawsuits. He settled 20 of them.
He settled 20 of them. 20. There was a report that came out.
Now there are 4 active lawsuits.
There was a report that came out that said that in the span of 17 months, he saw 66 different massage therapists. There is.
That was from New York Times.
Right.
Or Washington Post. Yeah, New York Times.
New York Times. So essentially, the nutshell is he's a NFL football player, and we've spoken about him on this platform before.
We have.
but he's an NFL football player that has had these allegations brought to him about sexual misconduct. This stuff has been going on for over a year. He did not play last year. He just signed with a new team this year. Like Lee said, he settled 20 of 24 cases, and they are right now in these hearings to decide whether or not he will be suspended when he returns to play this season. Okay. Whether there will be a suspension or not after the allegations of sexual misconduct from the 24 women. Okay. The headline that has been making news lately is that the NFL, they have this independent team that comes out and looks at all this stuff to suggest whatever the suspension should be, right? The NFL is pushing for a suspension of at least a year, an indefinite suspension of at least a year, to where he will be suspended for a year, and then he has to apply to be reinstated to play. What's making news is that the NFL Players Association, which is essentially the workers' union for NFL players, is pushing for a 0-game suspension for Deshaun Watson and saying that he should be able to play immediately when the season starts. That is what is going on right now. Now, there are reasons to this, but those reasons kind of get into the opinions. So let me just go ahead, because I know Lee got something to say too. So let me just go ahead and say my little piece now about this. The NFLPA is pushing for a 0-game suspension. All right. Mm-hmm. And unpopular opinion, I agree with the 0-game suspension.
Please break that down.
Yes, I will. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Here's the reason why I agree with a 0-game suspension. All right. Eric, oh my goodness.
Eric is getting giddy.
You get right. A little too giddy. Here's the reason why I'm pushing for a 0-game suspension. Not because that I think that what Deshaun Watson did wasn't wrong. Okay. But the reason why I think it should be a 0-game suspension is because this has happened before in the NFL and there was no suspension. The problem, well, not problem, but the reality of it is it was an owner of an NFL team that had the FBI crash in on one of his sessions because they had been following him. The man went to a massage parlor in Miami the night before his team was playing a football game in Kansas City. He got on his private jet, went to Miami, went in, did the do, came out, flew to Kansas City, did the game. The FBI came and raided him. There was a whole court hearing about it, and the NFL was notified of it. They did their own private investigation. All of this came out. There was no suspension, and the case was settled. Right? No suspension, case was settled. In Deshaun Watson's case, the case is settled. So now we're saying we want Deshaun Watson to be suspended, but the owner, Robert Kraft, he don't got to be suspended. Well, I believe that whatever goes one way should go both ways. If you're going to sit here and say that you set a precedent and there was no suspension before, then there shouldn't be a suspension this time. And not because of that what he did wasn't wrong, but because this is the standard that you set. You set the standard. When an owner, basically a co-chair of your organization, did this and got raided by the FBI, Deshaun Watson got snitched on by his own team. Robert Kraft got raided by the FBI.
I see.
And there was nothing that came down.
I see.
So if that's how we gonna do it, again, I'm not saying it's right, but if that's how we gonna do it, then that's how it gotta be. If that's what we doing. Okay. Now I get it, owners are a little different, but y'all could have hit that man with a fine. We fined owners before, right? We've suspended them from showing up at games before. It's not like we ain't done this stuff before, but because he was an owner, a prevalent owner in the NFL that had a lot of money and a lot of power, well, we let him off with a slap on the wrist. And nobody cared 2 weeks later after his team went to the Super Bowl and won. We stopped caring. When nobody talking about what happened with him and these charges after his team went to the Super Bowl and won. All of a sudden now we was talking about, they won the Super Bowl. But there was no suspension brought down on him. There was no fine. There was no disciplinary action. Okay. Deshaun Watson got snitched on by his old team because now his old team is a defendant in the case that he's being sued on. So now not only is it him, it's
they
the
defending themselves, really.
Right.
Because they've been accused of coercion, being a part of it, setting it up.
He's trying to get a bigger payout for his clients now.
So again, it's like if it's gonna be wrong, it's gonna be wrong. If killing somebody is wrong, if murder is wrong, then it's wrong no matter who does it. If sexual misconduct is wrong, it should be wrong no matter who does it. Now, again, the NFL is a private entity. They can act however they want to act. But if this is what they're gonna do, if that's how it's gonna be, if Robert Kraft ain't getting no suspension, in my mind, Deshaun Watson shouldn't get no suspension. If that's how it's gonna be, I don't think that what he did was right. But if that's how we gonna be, it gotta be even across the board. That's just
now specifically which part of his actions that's verified do you disagree with? So that you said what he did was not right.
Well, Deshaun Watson agreed. Deshaun Watson agreed to the encounters that he had with the women. He agreed to every encounter that he had, and he said that every encounter was consensual. Now, if you ask me, and again, this is just me, right? If you ask me, Deshaun Watson didn't go and just find these girls randomly on Instagram. All right. Deshaun Watson was seeking out, in my opinion, sex workers. And this is the service that they provided. And I'm serious. And because remember how this whole thing started. All right. New York Times came out and this was all put out there. This whole thing started because one of the women that saw him threatened to drag his name in the dirt. And she told him, I can ruin your whole career because she found out who he was. She said, I'll ruin your whole career. And then that's when the Houston Texans got involved. And they said to Deshaun, hey, if this is what you're going to be doing, make every woman sign this NDA. Every woman
before you keep going, Zoe, Faye, I know you got to go. You got any last final view, the thing on this? Go ahead, talk to us.
I hate that I have to go right now because y'all know how I am. So my opinion right now is very, very conflicting with Zoe's. So I really hate that I gotta go, but I gotta go get my baby. I would just say real quick, if I really don't like when, for example, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, and I don't know how to pronounce her name. That's the only reason I mentioned him. But
it's Ghislaine. Her name is Ghislaine.
Okay, so she got 20 years, then we know R. Kelly just got sentenced to 30, and so people have been upset. Was like, well, why this one get more than this one, and instead of just focusing on the fact that justice was served. And so it kind of feels like that when we're looking at this Deshaun thing, where it's just like, well, this one got away with it, why can't he? So that's what I'm getting from this. But like I said, I gotta go. So I definitely hope that we can bring this back.
Hey, look, you might be on the move, Faye, but you can still be in them comments.
I gotta drive to South.
Okay, and we do not want you to be in danger.
Yeah.
No,
so,
don't.
Hey, look, Faye, you're gonna hit a stoplight at some point.
Yeah. Hey, can you just talk to me FaceTime me at some point in the next 6 weeks? I have not seen DB. I have no idea what Deacon Baby looks like.
Yes.
I don't even know what he looks like.
I will for sure, because we got to catch up about that whole that private conversation that we had. We got to touch bases. So I love y'all. I gotta go, but yeah,
we got sideline huddles going on.
We'll talk to you later, Faye. We'll talk in private.
All right, I'll see y'all. Love y'all.
Conversations, boy.
Bye.
All right, guys. Love you guys.
Thank you, God family.
Okay. Jeez. All right. So Zoe, was there anything else that you had to finish before?
Yeah. All I was gonna say was that at the end of the day, when this first lady came out, said that she was gonna ruin him, the team said that he needs to have every woman sign an NDA. And once this whole thing happened with NDAs, that's how the Houston Texans knew every woman that he was involved with, because NDAs were signed. And frankly, if you ask me, that's why when they took this case to a grand jury to file criminal charges, there was no criminal charges that could be brought because every woman signed an NDA. You got an NDA, you can't talk. There's no testimony, no evidence, no trial. So what are we talking about? True. So they signed an NDA. So criminally, you can't do nothing. Now, civilly, yeah, you can, do whatever because we're talking about money. But they sign NDAs. But again, the basis of the point is, however it's going to be for one, it has to be for all. There was an owner in the NFL that was doing this exact same thing. He got caught by the FBI. The FBI literally raided him in the act. They had cameras set up in the place where he was at because they were suspicious. They were, suspicious of what he was doing, right? There was nothing brought to this man. Nothing. He settled every case. The NFL said nothing to see here. No suspension, no fine, no nothing. Deshaun Watson has already been out for a whole year because of this. If we're gonna say that an owner can do this and no penalty is brought to him, then you cannot convince me that if a player does it, a penalty should be brought to the player. That's just me.
I have a question. You guys had said earlier that and we've been saying for the longest time, and we know that the NFL is a private entity and they can do things whatever way they want. So let's say they wanted to, are they able to set a precedent outside of a criminal? Let's say they say, okay, this didn't happen with this guy, so it's not right for it to happen with this guy. They just dismiss it. He gets back to play. What's the process of getting something in place that protects victims? And I'm not saying that these women are, I'm just saying in the future. And I'm asking this because this idea of signing an NDA doesn't necessarily mean that, this NDA is being signed because I may try to do something to, get this guy or catch this guy up or something like that. A lot of times, just when you're dealing with celebrities, period, they ask for that because things that are disclosed and all that or whatever, like in their human beings and their private lives, and making sure that you're not putting all their stuff out. And it's a protection for them, but also should be a protection for the people that with whom they're engaging for whatever reason. So what are things, is it something that they can put in place to like protect, people from that? They're like, yeah, I'm signing an NDA, but that don't mean you could do whatever you want to do in front of me or cut up and do whatever. And it's like, well, I signed a sheet of paper. And it's something they can do across the board, like Zoe was saying, to say, hey, if this happens and this is found and you're found to be guilty of this or whatever, then this is what it is. Not limited to, whatever, but, is there something like that they can do outside of this?
I think that I believe yes. Now, don't quote me. I don't know what the information was that they had to sign, but I think that I believe it is illegal for them to withhold criminal activity within an NDA.
Okay.
So if there's criminal activity that has been then you can be charged to be the accessory to the crime, which is a part of why the Texans are trying to clear their name. Because they're trying to prove that they didn't have anything to do with it. But if you're withholding information that is criminal, then you could be charged as an accessory.
Okay.
So it's just, I don't think the NDA is universal.
Okay. I was saying it because Zoe was kind of saying, okay, no, if an NDA, no information, no testimony, no case, kind of thing. So I didn't
evidence,
know.
No investigation.
Okay. Right.
What you're saying is true. The reality is, in a case like this, the only real evidence you have, unless you got some video or something, the only real evidence you have is what everyone is saying, right?
Right.
So if that's the only evidence you have, which is testimony, and that testimony cannot be legally brought to a body of people because of an NDA that was signed to disclose said encounter, then it's like our hands are tied. Bill Cosby, right? Bill Cosby was pursued and was arrested on a statement that he gave in confidence years ago after he signed a deal saying that he would not be charged criminally for what he said. Then they came back and charged him criminally for what he said, and they had to let him go because it was already signed saying he couldn't. It's all the same thing. Like,
but that wasn't a third party agreement. That was agreement with the state.
No, I'm with
Cosby
you.
made. That was an agreement with the state. In a court of law, the document was recognized. So this is different. This is a third party agreement. There's an NDA. There's a team. There's a player. There's a person.
Right, but I'm sure if an NFL team drafts up an NDA, they have somebody in legal that can draft it up with certain language, so that the team gave him this document. It's not like he just went online and said NDAs for us and just
drawn up by the team.
It was drafted up by the team. Like somebody put the language in there for him to give to people to sign to protect him. Remember, at the time, they had a $200+ million investment in this man.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, there was a huge investment in this dude. This dude was Houston. So they were trying to do what they could to protect him, because they made their bed and they had to sleep in it. So they said, we're gonna protect him because we knew this is what he was doing.
I mean, I understand. I just was trying to see with these kinds of agreements. I mean, it's just basically one of those things that's just a loophole for anyone who wants to do some weirdo behavior. If they have an NDA, they may make things uncomfortable for you.
So,
no, I don't. I think
so. That NDA does not. It is not an absolution for criminal activity. Yeah. But again, I think we putting the cart before the horse, and this is kind of what grinds my gears about this whole rhetoric, everybody that's talking about this right now. Mm-hmm. Now, let's go backwards to what Alfonso said with the hearing. Okay. Mm-hmm. So 4 main things came up in this hearing to see if he's going to be suspended or not. The first thing that came up was that like throughout they only focused on they talked to 12 women. Mm-hmm. The NFL talked to 12 women, and they only brought up the testimony of 5 women, right? 24 of them did lawsuits, and they only focused on 5 ones. That's a red flag to me. And then also, second one is throughout their entire investigation, they could not present any evidence that Deshaun Watson used violence, threats, or coercion in any of the encounters, right? Mm-hmm. That's another red flag to me. And then the next red flag had to do with what Alfonso said with Robert Kraft not getting a suspension, and then they're seeking an unprecedented number for suspension for Deshaun Watson.
I see.
I think that we have slipped into the vein of vengeance instead of justice. Here's why.
Most definitely.
Because if you're gonna compare the two, Robert Kraft and Deshaun Watson, you're gonna have to show me a video of Deshaun Watson doing exactly what there's a video of Robert Kraft doing. Okay, they are not equal as of right now. And even in pretrial discovery of Deshaun Watson, they have yet to uncover in dispositions, in pretrial discovery, and in exposés when they went to the HBO stuff. They have yet to give the public tangible proof besides the number of allegations. And allegations, according to the court of law, but not to the court of public opinion, allegations are not evidence. Okay, they are just that.
Yes,
allegations. You need evidence to support your allegations. So just the fact that there's 24 women out there saying he did something, you're going to have supporting evidence all 24 times, not the fact that there's 24 people out here saying something, right? So I think that has become so ingrained in how we speak on this topic that we have lost sight of where we are in this process. Yes, there needs to be discovered, and I was upset when we talked about this the first time. If the allegations, now I am a nerd that reads the allegations, and I read what they said about them. Okay, now if those things are true, they definitely number one, they should never have signed an NDA. because NDAs came after the fact, which was another red flag. If he did all this weirdo behavior, right, and you turn around and sign an NDA, well, then you yourself is a conflict of interest, because I know something. And then again, we're talking about a black man in Texas.
Right.
Like, let's think about this, right? Had there been a shred of corroborated substance about Deshaun in any of these encounters,
they would have found it, and they would have, yeah, for sure. For sure, yeah.
And mind you, they said juries will indict a ham sandwich just to see what it happened out of the case.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
he was not indicted criminally at all.
So that's what I'm saying. The questions that I was asking, and I'm sorry if I got off, but just not really about Deshaun, because when we talked about it before, I basically was saying I don't feel like there's any protection for the person who's being accused. It's like this is across the board. They pull the funding, they do all the things. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. We didn't write that. That's in the fabric of the justice system here. That's what they say. And so this idea of being innocent to proven guilty, but you definitely get treated as guilty before. And I never liked that. Those are issues
and
that
that's where we are. That's where we are now with the whole discourse of Deshaun Watson. It's about suspensions. It's about discipline. It's about, did he break the code of conduct and all that type of stuff. And it's all about vengeance and really not about justice.
It's not about justice, and it's not about any victim anywhere. What I'm saying is I think that we are teaching real aggressors and people who are really harming folks how to get away with it by wasting time with all of this stuff and being like, well, have this in place, have that in place, have this, have that, as opposed to, we're doing a witch hunt instead of looking at, like, what about the folks that's really doing this stuff? What are the ways that we can make certain that this is done well and done properly, and that the justice is served, and not just anybody will do. Let's make an example. It just doesn't feel right to us for him to get away, so let's figure out something. It's like that's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's where we at.
That's where we at.
That's what I'm saying. You're giving the predators a blueprint for how to do it and get away with it by doing all this other weird fine print that has nothing to do with the victim.
And Erica, I think that same example can be given when you're talking about you're giving a predator an example of how to do it and get away with it. The same example could be given for Deshaun Watson, because he could have been the predator that was given an example by a predecessor, which was the owner of how to do it and get away with it. And he did it and trying to get away with it.
Right, if he did. So if he had, right, I see.
Right, right. If he did it, again, it's all allegations.
So now I have to go through the school of thought of if he did it or if he didn't do it. We are having a conversation based upon facts that we don't have. And then we're going outside, and Alfonso, again, he brought it up. He's saying that owners did it and there was no outcry. Where was the public outcry when Robert Kraft had the video? Where was the public outcry when Daniel Snyder had a whole culture of people hiding cameras in the cheerleaders' locker rooms and watching them change? That is recorded. That's recorded, and he's before Congress now. And he's being indicted. So it's like, yo, there are things. There was no outcry when Jerry Jones got sued and he settled it for similar actions. So where do we draw the line as far as, okay, we're going to go after this person on the appearance versus go after this person on the facts? And right now, if I'm just going to be honest with you, I cannot divorce the optics of I have all white owners and I have a black player. Okay. I can't divorce myself of that, because I think that had he looked like the owners, had he looked like the owners, maybe we wouldn't be having this kind of discussion. Now, yes, there have been white players that have had similar issues and transgressions. But with all of those, there have had to been evidence and then a settlement, right? With Deshaun Watson, there's allegations,
right?
But we have yet to see the evidence. And now we're still saying, okay, well, what are we going to do with him? Like he's guilty, right. and not given the chance to either A, prove his innocence, or B, allowed to. And I like what you said, Erica, too. Like there's no protection for people who are accused of this. I think that like victims and perpetrators of crimes of this magnitude, like sexual assault, sexual harassment, crimes, violent crimes, I think that until the legal process has run its course, I think that there should be John Smith and Jane Does associated with all of it. We don't get to know, like the public should not know. Now you might know that this person is being sued, right?
Yeah.
But you shouldn't know what. And you shouldn't know for exactly like, okay, well, why is he? So if you want to put him on pause until you figure out what exactly is going on, I agree with that. But that has not been what we've done.
No.
So now we this woke culture, and we want to be the first to cancel somebody, and we want to be the first to punish somebody. And with Deshaun Watson, it's like, yo. Like I feel like I'm the crazy person on the side of the road on the sidewalk with the stump, like putting on like, yo, we missed something.
Yeah,
we missed something.
Even down to not talking about the fact that somebody was trying to make it. I think it was wasn't there some sort of an owner or coach or somebody that was doing weirdo stuff anyway because he was upset that he left the team, or wasn't there something weird there?
The Texans.
Nobody made a big like
Texas GM and coach,
which they swept that. They swept that all under the rug, but the more you learn about it, the more that it seems justified because of what Alfonso said. The NDAs were supplied by the team, and when he said, "Hey, yo, I don't want to be a part of your team no more," how do you think he got the ammunition to go after these women?
I see. Well, let me say this: we're talking about evidence, and very quickly before we go, St. Louis had a very interesting situation to happen. Where there is evidence, there is a video out where the St. Louis Chief of Staff, County Executive, the former Chief, Mr. Kyle Harris, black man, was caught having a sexual encounter with a woman in his office. He recorded it himself without her consent. He's now been, he sat down himself. He claimed it's because he had death in the family and they was about to move. But now we know that it was because of the video that he recorded of himself having sex with a woman in his office. And the problem is she didn't consent to that. She didn't consent. So now he's going to jail. It could have just been sexual indiscretion, but because he did that without her permission, now he's going to jail. And the reason they know it's him in the video, not necessarily because of his face or his likeness, he's wearing his lanyard that has his name and his picture.
How do these idiots get in the office? That's a whole new brand of stupid. That's a whole new, you done broke the mold on that type of stupid. Y'all voted for these fools. Shame on you, St. Louis. You voted for that fool.
Okay. Damn.
You voted for him. Idiot. How was they supposed to know he was an idiot? I mean, do your due diligence. You can spot an idiot a mile away.
Yeah, that's a new level of stupid to me.
Yeah, this just happened yesterday. He's wearing his lanyard during with a picture and his name, and he's recording her, and it got shared amongst politicians. And that is a criminal offense in Missouri.
My God.
And so prayers up for his family, for the victim, Lord, for the victim. She's mortified. They haven't said her name because she did not consent to that and to the all that. So they're keeping her name out for now. But he is getting ready to. They think they're going to be charging him with some criminal charges because of that, because of filming.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is crazy.
These people are ridiculous. I think they should give out certificates for.
Sister Elkins just said Jesus is the answer. Well,
They need to give out certificates for stupid.
My goodness.
If you have any questions in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Woo! That's the dumbest thing.
Okay.
Is lanyard.
Guys, they said they couldn't fully. He could say it wasn't me if it wasn't for the lanyard that said she was fat.
You know, I have a friend that's in the House of Rep and a friend that's in the Senate, and they could talk extensively on the stupidity that we have in the Capitol building right now.
Wow.
They can talk for a long time if they wouldn't possibly lose a seat. But but they can talk for a long time about the foolishness that happens with these elected officials.
Well, what's funny is he was enjoying the situation for 14 seconds in the video, and then he looked down and saw that his name was visible, and he moved it out of the camera frame and continued.
Where was I?
Where was I?
Come over here and get
but you stupid going in, stupid going out. First and foremost, like the lanyard, right, is visible. You find that out. As soon as you find that out, this whole recording situation is done with.
Stop the film. Exactly.
Like, hey, hold up. All the way.
You know what I thought?
Delete everything.
You know what I thought? Oh my God, Brother El just said, I am still waiting for my sticks and stones gear. I'll sign an NDA. Just give it to me. Listen, guys, you know what I told Tony? Tony got mad at me because he says all the time, y'all, I could be at a stoplight and I could see two people sitting there and I'll make up a whole story about them. I'll say, yeah, she probably saying this and he's looking at her saying that. So it's like, you have no idea. And so that's what I said. I said, you know what probably happened? His wife probably found the video and said, "Oh, this is what we doing," and sent it to all of his boys. Because they said it was shared amongst other politicians before it came out. I don't know if they was just enjoying it or what, but it was sent to them. And so I'm like, I don't think he would.
That's not as diabolical as a woman, though. I don't think
so. The group text got hacked.
I think a woman would be more diabolical than that. I think she would be more diabolical.
Listen, she might say, she might just went going crazy. Said, do your colleagues know how you do it? You in there with the lanyard on in your office, on site, in the building.
Let me delete this picture of Zoe in this group tag before Zoe get
right.
Before we get hacked, Zoe get his own friends exposed.
Hey, yo.
Let me delete this stuff.
Live your best life, Zoe.
Let me delete.
Live your best life, Zoe. Live it. Don't let these people bully you.
So my final words for today. I want to say two things. I want to say yes, we do need some merch. As a matter of fact, once this is over with, I'm going to call Lee and see where we are with that. But my final words, I just want to say two things. The first thing I want to say is Tamia, I noticed your comment. Tamia, I noticed your comment that you're late, that you got to watch the replay. Tamia, when you do watch the replay, please make sure that you let us know how the sex strike is going. We want to make sure that we get as much information as possible about this strike and the effectiveness that it can have on our community. I also want to say to Tony, be strong, because if the strike ever comes to the household, we got your back. We got your back.
Let me tell you, Tony ain't
no, we don't. No, we don't. Hey, no. Hey, yo. Look, there's certain things you got to rough it. Like you ain't. Hey, I ain't got nothing to do with all that.
The song say, "Fight this battle for me." That's your own look. You gonna need the Lord.
Those are my final words for today. To all the people out there participating in the strike, stay strong and stay, continue to roll with whatever your morals and beliefs are. And let us know how that goes. We'll check up on you guys on Monday after the holiday.
Mia, like, what in the world?
Mia, like, are you kidding? We just got off vacation. Mia just got off vacation. Doc, if you think
we broke the strike.
we struck out. Okay,
right.
Ain't no strike going on over here.
Right.
Listen, Brother Webb don't have nothing to worry about. We thank God. And I just want to say, it's funny. This has been a very interesting week for this idea of justice and this happening and that happening. I didn't know what to think about. I mean, what to feel. I'm gonna go because it's fine. My last words are enjoy. Those of you who are married, don't let no SCOTUS, almost said SCROTUS.
Come on, Erica. Come on. Let's get off out here now.
Let's go home. Let's go home now. Go home now.
Hey,
go home
clip
now.
this. Clip this. This is need to be clipped.
Go ahead and get on up out of here.
Yeah,
this right.
We go.
Don't let the SCOTUS keep you from doing, those who are married, what God told you to do. Don't you do that, okay? And the other thing is, for those of us who, who have been accused of something that you're not supposed to be accused of, not the truth, or for those of you who are victims of someone's weirdo behavior, my prayer is that you will be vindicated, both parties, and that it'll be done properly. And I really hope that we figure out this thing of, I never heard that before, Lee, but I think the idea of it being Jane Doe until it's not is so important. I think, I think it's a good idea. And I think this idea of people saying, well, we might have to put you on pause for a minute, but if it's found that it didn't happen, whatever, you'll have whatever restored to you, whatever happens, whatever. In fact, the false accuser, she's responsible. But whatever, I just think that's the better way to do it. And if people worry about, what about if that person is guilty, how we going to get the word out? Y'all know how to get the word out. Y'all put people's pictures up all over everywhere. But I think
I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a good idea. Those are my final words.
Hey, I'm a Pastor Lee had to roll. I guess I don't know what happened.
Sometimes it's Wi-Fi, man. It's that internet.
It's that internet. All right. Well, I'm gonna say this, man. Listen, today. What's today's date? Today's
my
July.
sister's birthday is today. Ebony's birthday is today.
Ebony's birthday, right? Ooh, happy birthday, E! Happy birthday, Ebony.
42 years old today.
Hey, so I just want to say, November's coming close, right? Are we voting this year? This is the voting year, right? 2022, something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we voting on something. We're not voting. It's not the big election.
We voting on something. But we're voting. Yeah, it's always
voting. Hey, November's coming close. Do some research on these elected officials, all right?
Please.
Stop just voting for the dude that you saw on the sign at Wendy's while you was at the drive-thru, okay?
Yeah.
Stop that. Do some,
not Wendy's.
Stupid don't just fall out the sky, okay? People have been being stupid for a long time.
That's an excellent point.
Vote at least let the person not be stupid. Let's just
start right there.
Let's start there, Let's start there. In the age of social media and stuff, if they old account ain't completely expunged, you can go see them college photos if you wanted to. All right. Do your research on these elected officials.
I think you might be right.
Okay. Sheesh. That's my final word.
Lord have mercy. Lee?
Did you already have your final word?
Final words for me. Yeah, I'll do a final. I think Zoe did his final words, right?
Yeah, I'm already done. You the last one.
Yeah, it's your turn.
No.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn? Okay.
Go.
All right, my bad. So, final words for me. I feel very, very strong. Like the Deshaun Watson case, because it was in sports, and I'm a sports guy. I've gone through this whole process of accuser, and on both sides of the coin, victims and perpetrators. We got a lot of work to do as far as rectifying the court of public opinion, our processes, and how we treat both the accused and the people that are alleging assault or sexual harassment. We have to do better as a society, and also with the question of sex strikes or what have you. I am firmly on the side of right, and to withhold something from your spouse which is not yours to withhold is wrong in every way. So read the Bible and give it up.
Read the Bible and give it up.
If you
and
don't
that with joy.
Read your Bible and pray every day, you'll shrink.
Man.
That's what the song says.
And Mama Scott used to say, not reading your Bible and not praying for 1 week makes 1 week.
Makes 1 week.
Makes 1 week. WEAK.
Makes 1 week. I like it.
I like it too. We strong over here.
All right, y'all.
All right. I think that's it.
All right, now Sticks and Stones.
I think that's it.
Yep. As he said, Sticks and Stones.
These words will help you.
These words will help you. We appreciate you guys.
These words will help you.
We about out of here.
Peace.